What's up, everyone? This is Will, Origami Cybertruck. I don't have all my normal editing stuff with me today because I'm sheltering in place in Colorado instead of where I normally am. So I'm going to try to do this all in one take, and hopefully it'll work well. So anyway, let's dive into it. Today, there was a tweet that came out from Third Row Tesla Podcast. Shout out, guys. Hope you're doing well, sheltering in place. And this was a really interesting one, and I think it bears talking a little bit about. Okay, so first the tweet. Once legally approved, Tesla will sell a Model 3 with no steering wheel or pedals for $25,000 or less. Tesla expects to ship the first of these vehicles in 2 to 3 years, according to Elon Musk. All right, this is a continuation of what I see as Tesla just being relentlessly brilliant in how they're disrupting all these industries. So first of all, let's just talk a little bit about the economics of a $25,000 Model 3 with no steering wheel and no pedals. Obviously, you can buy a Model 3 today in the US arguably for $35,000, but realistically more like $40,000 if you want the kind of lowest range one that most people would want to have. So $25,000 is obviously a bit less. Now, we will see a reduction in the cost of production over time within the 2 to 3 years that it'll take to get this out. So that will help with the cost savings a little bit. But then we still have the matter of, well, why would they sell, what today is a $40,000 plus vehicle for $25,000 with no steering wheel and no pedals? Obviously, this is aimed at the Robotaxi network. And I think this much so far is pretty obvious. I'm just kind of giving this for context. But why I think this is so brilliant is because let's compare for a moment like Uber or Waymo or someone else like that. Basically anyone else who might be in this space running their Robotaxi network as compared to what Tesla wants to do, okay? Setting aside for a moment the fact that a fully equipped Waymo vehicle with all the sensor suite they have on there is, maybe $100,000 plus more than this $25,000 Model 3 would cost. Like, let's suppose that we just set that aside for a moment. Tesla's brilliant because they're going to sell these to us and they're going to empower, buyers of these cars to run this Robotaxi network. And then they'll just take a cut of the proceeds. You might think, well, does that really make sense? Couldn't they make more money by just running their own fleet like, Waymo has wanted to do, but maybe moving away from, or like Uber wants to do? And the answer is, theoretically, maybe they could, but that would be a huge logistical challenge. And on top of that, there's a more important constraint, I think, as well, and that is the efficiency of their capital. Imagine that you're trying to build out a network of robotaxis right now. You have the choice of gathering billions and billions and billions of dollars from investors, public offering, what have you, to capitalize this effort. You have to buy all these vehicles, $25,000 if you're Tesla, or maybe $100,000 plus if you're Waymo, or Uber or somebody, and that's a huge amount of debt or money to take that sits on that balance sheet as a liability, or you have to sell stock to get it. By contrast, if Tesla sells a $25,000 Model 3, maybe they make a slim profit on it, but they get a bunch of benefits. Number one, that Model 3 is immediately off their balance sheet and they have paid their suppliers back, there's no debt, they've got their money and it's out the door. Secondly, it's making money for them. They're taking a 30, maybe 40% cut of the profits. So it's a recurring revenue item for them at that point too. Number three, and this is I think really crucial, is that they are able to use this to quickly scale up. You see, because the more of these they sell, the cheaper their overall unit cost for every vehicle that they build gets. And if you want to buy your own Model 3 or fleet of Model 3s to use as a Robotaxi fleet, you're just helping Tesla drive down their unit costs and therefore continue to advance the rate that they can develop and sell all of their vehicles, including Robotaxi fleets. So it's this sort of, rather than being like a net drain on their finances like it would be if, they were trying to build all these and keep a hold of all that revenue and keep these vehicles for themselves, they're allowing it to be a net positive, not just for themselves, but also for, small time, potentially investors, people who maybe want to buy a couple of these and have them going around. Then they don't have to, service the vehicles, they don't have to maintain them, they don't have to really, deal with a lot of logistical headaches, and they can stay focused on doing what they do really well rather than getting into this whole other side of things. So anyway, I just think this is a really fascinating opportunity. We all knew that this is coming, but we've seen a little bit more coming out about this. Again, shout out to Third Row Tesla podcast about it. I have a link in the description below. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please do subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Peace.